Hello guys, what's up? I'm Surush. Today we talk about Enscape tutorial in SketchUp. So we have some ready model in SketchUp environment and we want to render it. This model belongs to the someone I tagged it in the description. So I click on the Enscape plugin and I start it. At first in the SketchUp model we can see this model's detail like the chair, natural materials, and some type of other thing like these tiles or etc. I come to the Enscape environment, so I go nearby the model, I press space, and I can easily come to this view. So I want to create some type of view shot. I need to click on the save frame. I want to take some type of image like a 101 or widescreen, maybe portrait. I think maybe widescreen is better. So I change my position with walk and movement keys and I click in this place, visual setting. I want to decrease the field of view, so I decrease this angle to the number like, for example, 60, or I can use lower numbers like 54. I click on it and now we have some type of thing like that. I need some 2-point perspective, so I click on the perspective, I click on the 2-point perspective, I click on the space. Now I am in the fly mode. I press E to get a little bit higher and I press S to come back a little. Now I want to change my sun position, so I hold shift and right click and I change my mouse position, some type of thing like this maybe. And I want to change my sun position in the sky, so I hold Ctrl and U. I need some type of thing like that, because in this type of sunshine we have much details in our screen. I take the time to the sunshine, something like that maybe, or maybe it's too hot. I change it to the number like 1045 or 1040. I choose 1040. So I click on the visual setting. I need a little bit outlines to detecting these type of copy and components. So I increase the outline to some number like maybe 12. And exposure, I need to increase my exposure a little bit, about 51. Rendering quality at the last, and I come to the image setting. I want to control the highlights, so I want to increase the highlights about number near 20, like 60. And I want to reduce your shadows because inside of this cafe is really dark. If I decrease the shadows, inside get lighter. So I decrease it to the some real number like 16, and saturation. A little bit saturation can help us much more. I increase it to the 102. And color temperature, I need some type of a little warm temperature, so I reduce it to the 5080, and I'm sorry, 5800. About motion blur, I reduce it to the 20. And lens flare, in this sim we don't have any flare, but we can use the lens flare, so I increase it to some number like 56. And about bloom, I change it to the 4, chromatic aberration to the 8, and vignette to the 34. And atmosphere, I reduce fog about 0, and some brightness increase to the 86. We don't need night sky, so we don't change it. And shadow sharpness. I want to increase the shadow sharpness to have much real render. I increase it to the 66, or maybe it's a little low. I change it to the 86. Now it's better. We need some artificial lights to make our render much better. So I change it to the 134, and ambient brightness, some number about 50 is good. I change it to the 54. And after that, about ambient light, I change it to the 64, and window speed to the 0. I need some clean sky, but not very clean. I reduce the density to 34, and variety to the 56, and Cyrus amount about 26, and contrast is about 9. If I change the longitude or latitude, I can see the result in my screen, and actually clouds moving on the sky, but our view shot don't cover it. Output is good, and now let's go for the materials. I minimize this screen and I choose the SketchUp model. So this model a little bit very heavy, and we wait for a minute. So I come to the paint bucket. I click on this sample paints. I don't want to change anything, just this type of plums in the screen, and I came to the Enscape material editor, and in this place I think, for example, this type of material must be much metal than now, this type of plums. So I increase the metal to the 56. Now it's much better, and I reduce your roughness to the 46. Now it's really better. So spectra is good. Another material we need to change it is this type of plastic box. I choose this color. I come to the material editor, and I reduce the roughness to the 50, and increase the metal to the 12. I can change this color to some type of darker color like sandy brown, and it's now better. And the main material is this type of woods, blue woods. I choose them. I come to the material editor. I reduce the roughness to the 34, and I increase the metallic to the 24. Now we have some type of shiny high glass wood. It's just simulation, and maybe it's not in the real world, so we have better reflections on these type of woods. I click on another material. For example, I think this wall is good. I click on the material editor. This wall a little bit, I reduce roughness about 66, and tint color a little bit get darker, something like that. And another option we have in the sample paint, I pick up the painter, these type of blacks. I click on it. It must be like a metal, so I come to this place. I change the metal to the 66 and reduce the roughness to the 4. Now we have much better object and material in here. So another thing we have in this frame is this wall. I click on this material. I think it's like a old metal or maybe old color, so I need to increase a little bit of reflection. I click on this page and I click on the material bitmap. I can invert it to see what happened on my screen. Actually it's turned to the blue, but it's very artificial, not real, so I don't need it. I came back. I want to change the tint to some type of a little bit brown, about sienna, and I reduced your roughness about 16, and now we have better material in here. So another thing we must change is this type of vase. I click on the objects about vase, and it's a little bit heavy, and I click on this texture. I come to the material editor, and a little I reduce the roughness to 24, and change the specular to the 34, and maybe we must change the color because a little it's not very good. I change it to the dark green. Now we have much better vases in here. It's all by the experience, and if you play with this type of options you will know much better than me. I click on the sample paint, and now the floor of the cafe. I click on the basic tile, and I want to increase the reflection of it, so I reduce roughness. When you reduce your roughness, it means that your reflection increased. This is the point, and I reduce it to the 30. I press enter, and a little maybe take some time. Alright, it's set, and I think everything is done in here. So I click on the sample paint. Another thing we must change is the I think everything is good, just these type of tables. I click on this blue wood, and I want to increase a little reflection of it, so I click on the material editor. It's completely plugged up, and now I click on the roughness. I change it to the 46, and it's really better. About the specular, I change it to the 61, and I think everything is done. So I click on that, something like this. I come back to the Enscape window, and now in the visual setting I change it to the ultra quality, and for the better result always remember that you must render your images by the PNG formats, and this is your file format. So I change the resolution to the Ultra HD, and I press the render keys. In Enscape default is a Shift plus F11, but I change this hotkey to the Shift plus F8, and when I press it, actually I can render my screen like that. Another way we have is the you can choose manually by this place about screenshot, but we don't need it now. So I press the render keys, save a screenshot. In the pictures you can create some new folder. I change this folder name to the new renders, and I open it, and this type of file name is good. You can change it to the cafe and press save. Don't forget like and comment. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This is the lesson 16 of Enscape tutorials, and do not forget like and comment, subscribe us, and goodbye.